Just continue saying hi in the chat, and I will ask again in a moment, but if you could mute yourself. We are recording and we are live streaming to YouTube as well. If you wouldn't mind muting yourselves, that will be appreciated. Thank you very much. Very excited to see you all here. We've got our old friends from all over the world again. Thank you for joining. Just a special request to mute yourself as we are recording and live streaming to YouTube at the same time to reach more people. We'll start at 2 minutes past 10 to allow everybody some time to join us. Just continue saying hi and chatting in the Zoom chat with us and everybody else who are here so far. If I could just ask you, both Mike and myself are the speakers today. If you wouldn't mind putting your Zoom view in side-by-side speaker mode or side-by-side gallery, then you should see Mike and myself and the presentation. Craig, I don't see that when I do it. So Mike, I'm pinning myself. If you can also pin yourself, please.
Yeah, Liezel, you guys
hello to
are
everybody.
pinned on my side, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I see when I change the view, it doesn't show it in that way for some reason.
I guess the main thing is for the recording.
Yes. Mike, if you could have a look at muting yourself. Welcome, everyone. We're just giving it a few more minutes. Please say hi in the chat. If you wouldn't mind muting yourself, we'll appreciate that. We are live recording and also we are live streaming. So I see there's still a couple of people who haven't muted themselves. They will appreciate that. Shadrach, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much for that. So just a few more minutes and then we'll get going. There we go. There's a few more people coming in. So if you would like to mute yourself, all you need to do is move your mouse across your screen, and then you'll see on the left, you should see a mute button. Just click on that for us if you don't mind. Okay, what's the time now? 2 minutes past 10. I think, shall we get going? I think there's somebody who's not muted.
Let's get going. See who that I can't see who it is either.
Okay. So everybody, just a warm welcome and thank you very much for joining us here this morning at our free masterclass. Another one brought to you by EXO Futures and the Democratizing Entrepreneurship community in Africa. So thank you so much for taking your time to join us this morning at our masterclass, and we hope that you will find a lot of value in joining us here this morning. As I've asked before, just before we get going, in order to see the presentation and to see Mike and myself, put your Zoom view into side-by-side or speaker view. That is the best way to monitor us this morning. Mike Said is my co-host this morning, and myself, Liezel van Rooyen. We have successfully guided over 30 masterclasses since the inception of the Democratizing Entrepreneurship community with the purposepreneurs in our team to deliver their masterclasses, as well as having delivered over 500 meetings and courses and workshops over just the past year. So we think that we are perfectly placed to guide and assist you this morning or today, because I know it's not morning wherever some of our people are here today. And we are looking forward to sharing our experience with you. We are also looking forward to learning from you this morning. So we will be sharing our process with you, and we will invite you to participate in a fun poll shortly. We would also like to invite you to ask questions and post comments in the Zoom chat. We are going to come to questions at the end of the presentation. Craig Terblanche, whom I've mentioned earlier, some of you might not have arrived yet, is the founder of our Democratizing Entrepreneurship community, and he is supporting myself and Mike this morning. And between the three of us, we are going to keep a very close eye on the chat. And Craig will also bring to our attention if there are any pertinent questions to address at that point in time. If I may just ask you to just check that you have muted yourself, just move your mouse across your screen where the Zoom is, and you should see at the bottom that you'll mute your speaker buttons there, and just click on it to mute yourself. We are live recording, and we are recording so that we can make the assets available to you after the event. As I said, there will be a Q&A session at the end. So please sit back and enjoy this event with us this morning. If you have pen and paper handy, please do take some notes. So we know that hosting an online event can be very, very powerful. When done right, they can build your brand, you can establish and grow your authority in your industry. You can also generate a ton from hosting an online event. You can also repurpose into blogs and videos and learning assets and other types of content. You can reach people everywhere in the world. And just today, we have people from all over India. What we did not take in consideration was this is happening during one of our big school holidays. So we've received quite a few requests to record and share this event. Somebody is not muted and you are coming across. If you can just check that you are muted, please. Thank you very much.
I'm muting Shadrach.
Thank you very much, Craig. So it is a problem sometimes to host an online event, and I think you're experiencing some of the challenge one generally does with hosting online events, and we will talk about these kind of challenges in a moment. And we also know that not all online events are created equal. So while a select few online events enjoy massive success, and that's just measuring it in terms of the number of attendees attending, i.e. 500 and more. And to be exact, only 2% of online events achieve those kind of numbers. We also know that most of the online events tends to fall flat with low attendance and a high drop-off rates. But it's very important to note that the objective is not to see how many people you can get to an event, but that the focus should be on the quality of the participants you attract to your event to help you achieve the purpose of your event. You need to know that hosting an event is a great way to engage your audience. Statistics tells us that 59% of attendees enjoy participating in live events and workshops like webinars, your meetings, etc. So planning and executing a workshop can seem like a tricky task. How will I engage people? How will I decide on which topic to use? What platform must I use? How do I get people to come to my event? Technology must I use, etc. So, but you shouldn't worry about that. That's why we're here this morning. So as I said, with our combined experience between Mike and myself, and I know there's some experienced people attending this morning as well, in this masterclass, we are going to introduce you to a tried and tested process that guides you through the before, the during, and the after stages of a seamless and successful online event. Just a note quickly, throughout the presentation, we will use the word event to denote from workshop, meeting, webinar, event, etc. Good. So as I've mentioned earlier, we have run a lot of online workshops, and we know that there are 3 distinct steps.
Liezel, I'm not sure if Liezel has frozen.
Right here, tickle issue, what you do during the event, and then after the event. So are you ready to dive into creating your own standout online event? Just tell us whether you are ready or not to learn how to create your standout online event. Just type yes for us in the Zoom chat, and then we will rock and roll. Mike, Craig, are there any chats coming through?
Yeah, there's Pearl and Tracy and Craig and Bridget. Got a yes. Sorry, from Bright, yes. I would say that everyone at this stage is absolutely ready. So let's rock and roll it. So first of all, wait, just before we start, what is your greatest fear? International researchers have asked thousands and thousands of people that same question, and you may be really surprised at the results. So let's do a quick poll. Take a moment and glance through these images and the words underneath them, and in the poll that crops up, pick any 3 that you feel are your biggest fears of those 3 of the 10 that you see in front of you.
How's that poll looking, Craig? People responding?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got engagement happening. 9, 10, 11, 13. Go for it. 14, 15. Awesome. Give it a few more minutes.
Seconds.
Seconds. In fact, it's counting down, I see. So how long do you want to allow it? We're at 24 responses.
Peter Yuko says he has no fears, not even death. That's not true. I know Peter. His fear is that someone will use incorrect grammar when explaining something on Facebook.
Well, then he shouldn't be on Facebook.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right, so there's 25 responses. I think that's
Let's
good.
have a look at those results.
Okay, I'm going to end the poll and share the results. There you go.
So according to this, snakes really is just right up there. Close spaces, public speaking, heights, spiders, dentists. But let's have a look at something quickly. These are the results of the international. When the poll was done internationally, it turned out that public speaking, then heights, then dentists, then snakes, flying spiders, close spaces, mice, dogs, and lightning. So for a lot of people, speaking in public, and this is not just in Zoom, but live in public, is so scary that it's more scary than the fear of dying. And that means that most people would rather be the guy sitting in the coffin than actually the guy making the speech next to it, just to give you some idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you through some overview and some in-depth, just a word of explanation. As we explore each of the steps, at the end of each of them, we are going to show you in-depth on 2 of the talks, and then you can use our checklist, which we'll hand out right at the end, to go through all of this yourself. There's a beautiful giveaway that we prepared for you. Watch the process. There's a handout. Let's rock and roll.